Hi, I'm Iohann Rashi Vega, Director of Media Engagement with Holyoke Media, and I've been connected with ethnic studies for the past 5 years, and as a community partner and helping with media literacy and working a lot with identity through media, storytelling, and creative work with the students. So this has been a really beautiful and creative way to collaborate and helping ethnic studies to grow and to be present. Ethnic studies, after experiencing it and seeing the experience through the students, I would like to say ethnic studies is the missing part of the history and the background that every person should know about the place they live and the place they come from. Ethnic studies is really important to Holyoke, and it should be equally important for every community because that connects to know and understand the situation of not only the country, the state, but also the very local area that may have connection to backgrounds that go back to indigenous people that through history have different presence and representations of different cultures and backgrounds that may or may not be present today. And it is important to acknowledge and understand those identities in order to see why things are the way they are today. Particularly when we talk about a city like Holyoke that has had such a rich history of immigration and cultural blending, being today in a place that only sees majority of two cultures and one of them has full control of the narrative is problematic because it should be a balance narrative of the majority of cultures being represented in the city plus all the rest that are here but they are not being so much visible or represented or even acknowledged. And this is really important for our students to know about. 2020 is a year that has changed our lives entirely. And do we need ethnic studies, particularly in these times, because it is almost unbelievable to see how much we have evolved and advanced and accomplished many milestones in science, technology, knowledge, but at the same time, as a society, we are going backwards. Or better said, a generation is trying to keep things stuck in their time and in their understanding of things, right or wrong, but just because of their comfort and their lack of willing to learn and get up to date. And you can see that when we refer to oppression, to systemic racism, to inequities in our society that have been a struggle for decades, even centuries. And 2020 was the point of discussion of all of these issues, almost like if we were back on those years. And with that, the situations that are pertinent to our current times, a perfect opportunity for education, a perfect opportunity to relearn, and possibly for this new generation to figure out the way to do things right and be better than the ones who put us in this position today. A world that is more aware of ethnic studies will be more understanding. I think it will be more capable of a dialogue, more capable of reasoning and seeing. There's this say that there's always two sides of a story. I don't agree with that. I think a story has many different angles, as many angles as a circle can have, because you cannot just see things polarized, black or white, or left or right, or right or wrong, or calling hot. This is the mindset of an old generation that just want to see things that way. So starting by that, we need to see things in all different possible angles. And that's how I think ethnic studies helps people to see the world, their own perception, their own identity from those different perspectives. And once people understands that, many things change. And I think many conversations then can happen, and then we can move forward. Did I got to learn about my own culture during my time at school? I will say yes, I did, but not enough. And then as I grew up, I found out it was just one side of the story, the official one. Um, I'm proud of and glad that I got a really good education, and especially during the first years, I'm a product of the public schools as well. And I have to say that I had a good basic education, and I got a lot to learn and find out. And at the end, it was, I think all the teachers that I had during school, they did an amazing work giving me all the knowledge that I needed to have. Of course, the system is the one who told them how much can they taught me at that time. If it is not because of that critical thinking and that realization that you need to know more about who you are, where are you, and where you come from, I wouldn't be able to know more about everything related to my culture and my identity. And that helped me a lot to continue learning on my own. And I think that's what ethnic studies does. Gives students the realization of a lot of knowledge there is still for them to acquire and for them to look for it, to pursue it, to make it part of their background and their knowledge, their basic knowledge, not to be satisfied with what you are being told by one person or by one book, even by one institution. And that's what I think is the most valuable thing ethnic studies is offering, that opportunity for students to continue learning, to be eager to know more about themselves, and be proud of what they learned throughout the way, and at the same time to question why I didn't knew about this before, why this information was kept held from me. What do I need to do to change that? And it's amazing to see the students taking those actions and making those questions.